All right, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. Ross Outdoors video season is back. And first on our docket is to go over the Mathews and UltraView collab sight. There's multiple different versions of this sight. Today in front of us, I have a 5-pin version and a 3-pin version that we're going to go over, give you some of kind of the tips and tricks of using it, because we've got it on a couple guys' shop bows to where they're doing practical applications in the field throughout the season. And then also some kind of little minute mounting, taking it off, tips and tricks on just setting it up to where it's a little bit more user-friendly for everybody, to make sure that you're getting the most optimized experience out of such a high-quality sight. So if people have not experienced the UltraView slider that came out this last year, this is basically the revamped version / went on a diet. So a lot of people are going to look at this sight, this one in my hand being the 3-pin. Yep, didn't want to say the wrong thing there. They will look at this and say, oh, it is just a branded version of a UV slider branded for Mathews genuine products. But in fact, it is not. It's very exciting because with this sight, Mathews and UltraView worked together. Their engineers teamed up and they created a really, really nice sight. It is primarily going to be dovetail compatible, to where you do have your indent there. So you have your one position to optimize the weight to functionality ratio there, to where you don't have that overtly long bar, but you still are going to get the QD dovetail in and out, and then you'll see the bridge work that they've machined in there. You do have your large third axis adjustment here. If anyone's been familiar with mounting or leveling the original slider sight, sometimes that third axis adjustment can be a little bit stiffer, but on this one they really fixed that. They cleaned up the thread pattern a little bit and then changed the Loctite combo a little bit, so it's a lot nicer. You do have first and second axis adjustment right here. That's your major tensioning screw. And then on the inside here, that little guy, you can see it says first and second right there. That's your micro adjust driver. So what that is going to do, if this is mounted in the bow, it is going to take this bar and pivot it side to side so that your slider rail and your bubble level inside of the housing are going to be in line with each other, so that we get the most precision out of this sight out at distance, so we don't see right and left variances. Killed a little bit of weight there because they removed that second screw in the top kind of bridge up top. You still have double-sided sight tapes, one metallic sight tape here, another one on this side. You do have the lockdown fin, as I call it. Push this down, the sight is locked down. Push this up, sight's going to be a little bit more fluid to move, but you do have mechanical override on this sight. So if it is mounted to your bow and the buck or bull of a lifetime walks in front of you, you can grab it. And I would say with about 50% more effort, you are able to move this sight. I mean, I'm going to hold it with index thumb here, and it is locked down, and I can turn it without having to muscle it too much. And then when I unlock that sight, it just becomes even more fluid for me. So just so you can kind of see the resistance that it has there. Same old windage adjustment is housed here in the middle. So you pull out on that cogwheel and you can hear it. So I'll shut up so you can hear it. So if any of you fellow hunters also like to extend your season with rifle hunts, this is going to feel super familiar to you. So the clicks are just like that on that of a high-end rifle scope, turret, I should say. So small clicks, but you know when you've made a click, it's not just a continuous worm gear that's going to just slide it over. So you can kind of use those clicks as a mechanical and audible reference to know, okay, I went 3 clicks that way at 20 yards or 3 clicks this way at 20 yards. Now is where you get into the fun part, and this is probably what everyone has been thinking as I was just rambling on about getting to. The housing. And I'm sorry that there's no lights and doves flying, but the housing has been re-engineered by Mathews and UltraView. So instead of the CR 2025 battery that was originally housed in the bottom of the UltraView housings, now you have a completely rechargeable light out here on the top. When you click this button, that's when you're going to start cycling through your different brightness levels. It is still the UV purple light, and if you kind of might be able to see, you can see the light barely peeking through there on the housing. But you click through your different levels, dimmer, and it blinks and it's off. So you're going to get your same UV light being shot out. That's a lot more important than it being a white light. White light tends to dissipate very quickly in its natural environment because that's most of what you're getting from the sun. Whereas a UV purple light, you're going to be noticing it have a lot better impact on your fiber brightness. You do have a cartridge for your pins. So a lot of people are going to be familiar with their cartridge system from their prior slider sites or even some of their target housings. This smoked plastic housing here is where all their pins are housed in. You can see the track right there on this housing. That is where your Allen wrenches are going to be for your top and your bottom pin. The middle pin is fixed on these UltraView sites, and we'll get into that here in a second. But if you wanted to, you would be able to, sorry, I hit the button, I made it turn on. You can remove this. So there's a small Allen wrench set screw right there, and then you got another one on the other side. This comes off, and then you're able to put on 5-pin housing. If you wanted to increase your pins, say you're going from a back east hunt where you want to have your pins 20, 30, 40, for something out of a tree stand or more of kind of a food plot style. And then with the 5-pin option, you can run your pins however you see fit, whether it's 20 through 60 or 30 through 70. This bow that we have here to my right is Jesse at our downtown location's bow, and he runs his pins 30 through 70. Once he followed their 20 through 60 calibration process, he was able to set it up to make his pins 30 through 70 for a little bit more of the Western hunting style that we have here. Great texture on the grip knob here on the right hand side of it. So whether it's gloves, wet, rain, mud, dust, who cares? You're going to be able to get a really good purchase on this and get a good turn out of it. You do have adjustable indicator needles here. I believe those are red, green, red, and I say that because I'm colorblind and I wanted to make sure I say the right thing. I'm waiting for a nod from Josiah and I got a yes. So we have machined aluminum on the indicator needles, which a lot of you might say, why is that important? The reason that is important is because they're going to stay straight. I say that with the utmost seriousness is because unfortunately cast or kind of a pot metal material indicator needles have been the industry standard for a long, long time. UltraView has done a wonderful job kind of bringing to the forefront the machined indicator needles because they're going to stay more durable and rigid for you in the field. If they brush up against clothing, bow case, anything, you're not going to bend your indicator needle and it's not going to give you a false reading. So you have complete adjustability in their own track. So they're not going to go forward and back on you. They're just going to go up and down. You can set them to whatever you want. Your 3 pins, or on the other side, it starts with a single pin. And then you can add them, or we can order them for you as you see fit. You have completely adjustable sight tapes to where if you do go from one elevation to the next, or you weren't perfect on your placement of it, you are able to loosen the upper and the lower sight tape screws, slide it up or down on that track, and then you can do the same thing on the right hand side of the sight. I tell most people this right hand side is reserved for your calibration tape. Put your calibration tape on here, get your middle pin set up for 20, shoot it, get it to 60 so that you can put the correct sight tape on there. And then you will lay your finalized sight tape on this side to where then you can dial it down. If I was going to set this sight up myself, being a 3-pin sight for kind of a Western hunting side, I would do my 20 through 60 calibration on my right hand side or riser side, and then my sight tape on this shelf side. I would set my middle pin for a 40-yard distance on the sight tape, and then I would use the manual adjust to sight in my top pin for 30 and my bottom pin for 50. A lot of people ask us questions on this. Please call in. We are your local tool, if you will. We love answering questions about this stuff, and we want to make sure everyone's getting the proper setup on their sight. Now, the most important thing, and yes, I've waited this long, and a lot of people have probably looked at this sight and said, Grady, you missed something. I didn't, but you tried to catch me. With the original UV slider, there was not a zero stop, and that was always a concern for a lot of us hunters because hunting isn't generally the most gentle thing on equipment. We're worried about it being bumped without us knowing and then causing us to miss a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. They put a zero stop in. So, as you can see here, there is a single Allen screw. Again, a good machine. Like, I'm pressing on that pretty darn hard to where it leaves an indent in my finger, and I can't get that to move. Good machine, zero stop, and you have different taps for yourself to adjust that. You do have a slotted track there to where you're able to slide it up, slide it down, again, if you're going to make those minute adjustments off of your sight tape. And to me, that's game-changing. Being able to have a solid zero in case of any emergency or any incidentals, you're able to get yourself back on target quickly. Having fixed pins, you're able to make adjustments. It's going to be very friendly for you. But I can't say enough about the Mathews UltraView combo. I think you took some of the most historical minds in the archery industry, and you paired them with also some of the most innovative minds in the archery industry. That being Mathews and UltraView engineers coming together, they really have created a fantastic sight here. This one that I've been playing with, obviously, is the 3-pin. This is the 5-pin configuration. You'll look at the pins in here, and you may notice that it is a little bit different size. So UltraView, as most people know, kind of came from the target archery realm. There are other pin sizes in archery than 10,000th and 19,000th. A very, very popular pin diameter in target archery is 15,000th. It's kind of the best of both worlds, and that's what they utilize in their sight housings. So I think they really thought through everything on this, from durability, functionality, weight. That was a big thing, because when you pair this with the Mathews Lift X, it doesn't feel like the sight's on the bow. We have the bows of the month at both stores, and then we also have the demo models that have these attached to them as well, so that people are able to kind of feel the function of the sight, so they know what they're getting, and it doesn't feel like there's anything attached to the bow. The other one thing I want to make quick mention of that some people may not know, if you're going to be doing any major travel, it isn't a bad idea to detach the housing, so you can flip up your lock, or you don't have to, but I like to flip the lock up. You come down here, index finger on the bottom to this spring-loaded lever, and you slowly dial down until it disengages, and then you can bring the sight off. Now, that needle is really, really close to my finger. It is sharp. I've cut the crap out of myself trying to show people how to do that. Be very careful. That's why when you buy the sight, there's a big foam chunk here that says these are sharp. So be cautious when you're taking these off. Otherwise, you will cut yourself, and it really hurts. To put it back on, you just leave the sight lock flipped up. You go, you hear the click, and you're back on. But if you want to, you just press and pull, and you're off. So if I was going to be doing any serious travel, bumpy roads, I would leave this on the bow, or if you had Allen wrenches available to you, you could undo the Bridge-Lok set screw and then take this out, because you only have one place to mount it to. And then you have this guy. And a lot of people will look at that and say, okay, I'll find something around the house to put these in. What's behind the boxes, one might ask? The fancy case that comes with it. So you can put your sight body and your sight housing, if I put it in here correctly, well, I got to remember how to put it in here correctly. There we go. You can put your sight housing and your sight body in here. This is the spare mounting hardware to where you have options of different mounts. You've got some of your little spare screws and whatnot for the body itself. This ring, a lot of people here in Arizona are going to look at it and say, why is this there? There are other states throughout the West that do not allow illuminated or electronic illumination of pins. So if you're going to go hunting in other Western states, because it's hard to get a tag in Arizona, make sure you don't have to have this on. But if you do, it comes with the sight, top mesh pocket here. You have very nice plastic bag. Yes, you will have to plug your sight in if you want your light to last forever. It's kind of a novel concept, but I would say get used to it, because there's going to be a lot of people coming out with rechargeable sight integration for the lighting of it. Sight tape booklet is in here. You do get multiple of the calibration tapes, and then it's on a really nice waterproof 3M paper. And get that zipped up. But yeah, this is what you will see when you open the box. Obviously it'll be shut. You open this up, there's the big piece of foam that'll come in here, but this is your UltraView Mathews mashup of, in my opinion, one of the most advanced hunting sights that you can get on the market right now, paired with some of the best, if not the best, practical integrations of sight tape adjustment, lighting, giving you the option to have different pin housings, QD of that. So really, really impressive from Mathews and UltraView this year. And I would say definitely worth taking a look at if you're going to be picking up a new bow. I would say 9 times out of 10, safe bet that when people come in and they're getting a lift, pretty much everyone's considering getting one of these, because it's the great combo of Mathews to Mathews, utilizing the Bridge-Lok as well as how lightweight it is. It really pairs with the Lift X nicely. So we do have a lot of them here at the shop. We have the 5 pins, 3 pins in the horizontal, and then we also have the vertical as well. So we've got a whole stack of them. So whether it is in store, over the phone, online, whatever that works for you, feel free to please give us a shout. We'll be more than happy to aid in purchasing one. Or if it's just questions about the general setup of the site that I haven't explained well enough in this video, we would love to help you. And as always, we greatly appreciate all of you for watching. You guys are the lifeblood of our store, and we are hunters serving hunters. As you can see, Jesse's bow is very dusty because it's been out on the over-the-counter hunt chasing javelina. So we thank all of you for your constant support, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at Ross Outdoors.